What started as a casual Sunday afternoon run up the Waiau in sunshine would end in tears for some, but that wouldn't be till after lunch. Everyone got to the Jericho turnaround, but some in better shape than others. John Derry was clawing back the vital seconds needed to overhaul marathon leader Roger Preston. He got him by just 2 seconds after nearly 80 Ks, but conditions were less than ideal.
It's a nasty river, there's a lot of rocks in it, so going downstream the guys have done a really good job marking some rocks, so hopefully we look at the markings. Yeah, look, it can be a pretty tough river, so I'm sure everyone will be happy to get down to Tuatapere this afternoon.
Preston still maintained the outright lead by 16 seconds, but downstream would be challenging.
Because we're probably going to have fogged up helmets, probably going to be holding the visor up with one hand. So yeah, it'll be just finish if it's raining. We just want to get down.
Tom Kelly was still having problems with Golden Homes.
So yesterday's problem came back?
Yeah, it was misdiagnosed, I suppose. We thought it was a blade and we fixed that up all last night and we're happy with the clearances there. And then got off the start line today, just bobbing along, and realised it was jammed the brake on and released that, and after a couple of times it come clear and off we went. So yeah, brake issues.
And Holland's time upstream was only 10 seconds slower than A-class leader Justin Hill, but he split the air intake, letting all the puff out instead of into the engine. One of the joys of developing your own power plant.
You never know, do you? You know what you got until you get it running. Find these weak points. But that's all right.
Flexible?
Yeah, we hope so. We're going to weld it up, try and get back down.
Rob Pooley, on the other hand, had a great run upstream, posting a time that elevated him back up the leaderboard. But that wasn't his concern.
Not worried about that, Paul. Just nice to be here. Yeah. These delightful conditions. Every time a coconut down here.
Well, what do you do downstream? It's going to be a little bit tougher with the rain, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. It's up to the organisers. They may well make a call on safety given the rain and everything. They've done it before. Yeah. We'll find out in a minute.
Can't see back out of it. Just be sensible. Race through the conditions. Start line is where the finish line was on the way up.
The downstream leg was deemed a goer, and boats lined up to be dropped into the river by tractor, ready for the 1 p.m. start. Whether it was serving hot coffee or fuel for race boats, it was all a matter of wetness, just a touch more drizzle on some than others. So the afternoon shenanigans began, Tom Kelly discovering the issue with Golden Homes wasn't pump or brakes.
The gearbox has got a hole in the side of it, so it's given up the ghost for now.
Is that the issue you were talking about, that you thought it was the brake?
I think so. It's all sort of pointing towards that. We didn't use the brake at all at the top of the leg, and it had the same shutter. Shutter went away, but yeah, a couple of k's down, just locked up and caught fire.
Byron Campbell swapped categories for the downstream leg. Out was river racing, in was rock hopping.
Back fell off it. Short answer. No, we had a shit run down. It was quite hard to see everywhere we went. Coming down that first part, and we went through one rapid, and we took a tap. We knew that. There was a good ding on the grill, but obviously we'd hit the bowl hard enough, or the snoot hard enough to break the unit as well. And next corner, and back fell off, and it was all on. We were along for the ride. Shot up a bank, went over the top, landed back in the river. I'm sitting there revving it, trying to figure out why it wouldn't move. We didn't have a blade or anything, no shaft, everything's gone.
But Byron wasn't even able to dominate the new category. That accolade went to Southland's Rob Donald after some indecision about direction. With his hastily repaired intake, and Holland made the downstream start and finish. But with engine oil spewing into the boat, his start tomorrow might just be in doubt. A-Class remains in the hands of Justin Hill, happy with his day in the office, a river he'd previously not raced.
What was the approach then, given that?
Just to take it easy, get up and down. It's got some fast bits, but it's also got some technical bits in it. So we just wanted to finish the day. It's the second day of the marathon. Not push too hard today, so we're happy with our result. I think Dave's pushing pretty hard. I think downstream he would have pulled some time out of us, but we're not racing in CX, so we'll let him race his own battle. And yeah, I'm looking forward to some tight rivers the next couple of days.
And Dave Robinson is racing CX, in fact leading it by 2 minutes, but not without scares of his own.
Went far enough on the left where I wanted to be, but we crossed the gravel shelf and hit the sponson right up the front and squashed it. So it's all good.
Callum McKenzie is the closest class competitor, 2 minutes behind Robinson. His run today should be helped by the alternator he hopes to pirate off Byron Campbell's stricken raceboat after his own failed earlier in the day. Third in CX is Andrew Scott. But then there's a 4-minute gap back to Craig Robinson, with Richie Foster on the same minute. Steve Rapsey tumbled down the order when the fire went out behind him. The motor eventually restarted, but that does nothing for the racing confidence. Ironically, Richie Foster had suffered the same fate on the upstream leg. There's not much fight in Formula FX class. Lee Harrison has cleared out from the field, leaving Greg Wilson and Riley Smith scratching their heads. Mind you, the boys in 166 have taken their fashion focus to new heights today. The wet cleaning cloth was smearing their visors. So navigator Zane Rich whipped off his wet boot and handed his dry sock to Riley so he could see. Clearly, Deals Racing is a close-knit family. Up front, Mike Pooley was keeping Freedom Pools in touch with Derry and Preston, but there would be no heroics on the downstream leg.
Went as fast as I could go. No, it was good though. Had a good run down. Yeah, we just wanted to get to the bottom today, and we had a bit of a hiccup on the way up, so we just paced ourselves really.
What happened on the way up?
Navigator fault. No, we was right on a corner, went across a rock there. But that was right. No, we're happy with the day. Back on the trailer.
John Derry turned up the pressure on Roger Preston, cutting 30 seconds out of his lead to finish the day 15 in front, but he too had paid a price.
Yeah, look, we must have had a pretty decent rock. We've got a good dent in the middle there, but to be honest, I don't remember doing it. So, yeah, between those pressure waves and the rocks, sometimes it's pretty hard to know the difference. We caught Roger's rooster's tail there a couple of times and got into the gorge, and then we started bouncing off its wake and stuff, which was pretty unpleasant, so we slowed down a little bit. But we certainly took some time on, but I don't know. But, you know, tomorrow's Roger's home river, and those Preston boys are going to be hard to beat there, and they've always wanted to race their home rivers and beat us, so there's their chance.